I need to put a no meal chum. Words. We do have kind of a hard stop today. It's 7:30, but it's because we need to go grocery shopping. But we'll make the best of everything we can do.
Yeah.
All right, and I figure I'll kind of throw this idea out at you guys. With all the shit that's happening with D&D currently, how okay would any of you be switching to like half Pathfinder, half this, so or like half various things? I realize I need to. You're right. It would have to be Pathfinder, but we'd find like stuff that works for.
This conversation is appropriate for my normal voice. What do you mean by that, Bear?
Okay, so there's a big fucking thing going on now.
The OGL debacle.
Yeah, they're what are they doing?
Just playing the game is not going to support them.
Okay.
Playing 5. Now, if we were playing 1, if we were using the playtest materials, I would feel differently. I would say let's move on to something different if we're going to use the material from 1 D&D. But 5e is
okay. It is okay for the time being. Yeah.
Everyone else is kind of shitting on them and dogpiling enough that I think it's pretty safe for the moment to just.
Fair enough.
I guess I still am not understanding the situation. Who's dogpiling on who?
Wizards of the Coast, or Hasbro executives, if it's to be believed, is doing something really shitty, and they are tightening the open game license to the point where they can.
They're not tightening it. They're basically deleting it and saying that all the content that you create is now their content, and if you make too much money with it, they're going to charge you for it.
And they reserve the rights to revoke anything you make under the D&D name at any time, even if it's not. Yeah, it's really shitty.
Okay.
It is really shitty.
Yep. Got it.
Yeah.
I'm fine with moving to Pathfinder. Pathfinder's great.
But that is if things go the way it looks like they might.
That's up to everybody. Like I'm personally more comfortable with Pathfinder, but I also can't do what I'm currently doing in Pathfinder, so it's really up to everybody. If they're okay with 5th edition, they're okay with 5th edition. If they're not,
I
whatever.
mean,
I don't think I can quite do what I have in Pathfinder, but I can figure out something.
No, there's nothing like the Artificer in Pathfinder. That's why I kind of say we'd have to make something.
I feel like the obvious solution to this is just to not reference D&D in any way, shape, or form, and just calling it, like, game night.
Yeah, that's probably the simplest thing.
That way it's not attached to the name. They can't prove
We just
nothing.
have to...
Nondescript tabletop RPG game night.
Yes.
Lizards and layers.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm a magical girl. I don't know what you're talking about. This is clearly an anime RPG.
Absolutely.
This is
Y'all didn't know that the Sailor Moon trading card game was actually an RPG tabletop?
Yeah, with robots and dragons and kobolds.
Of course. Oh my.
And an impaled young man.
My favorite Sailor Moon character is the Moth Person.
Moth wife.
Yes. And see, you got a cat boy with a harem, so it fits the anime cliche.
It does. All right, Pog Porg, thank you, and Woo for the subscription. But yeah, who wants to recap last week?
I can definitely do the very end of it because I just rewatched it.
I know why. Okay. Do
Listen,
that.
last game, people were attacked by carpets, and I ran into a window
Twice.
twice.
Spacesuit sounds so bad.
Man. Been
You
a
were
month.
attacked by carpets.
Get everyone excited. Attacked by
Dark
carpets.
ran through a window. Failed the first time, I think.
Absolutely killed the serious mood that we just had a moment ago.
And then we fought a giant tentacle monster, and it stabbed me through the chest and died.
Yep. And we'll return to that right away.
And Bub's got electricity powers,
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, Bubs did.
courtesy of Matri.
Yes, it's all Matri's
Pew
fault.
pew pew pew.
Oh, real quick. Before we dive in, are you wanting to do your ad thing?
No, I don't have the thing set up. I need to.
Okay.
I need to work on that.
I just figured I'd double check
thing.
because you used to do that.
During the intro, I'd play music, we'd chat, and then I'd run like a 3-minute ad so people wouldn't get intro ads, but it's fine right now. I just want to get to playing. All right. So on the last session, all of that did indeed happen, and as the creature's tentacle it shoots through Zatch's chest, you don't see any blood. There doesn't appear to be any particular damage to him, but he falls back to the ground as the tentacle dissipates into a purple mist along with the rest of the creature.
Were you just echoing through Atreides through the filter?
Yes, yes, I was.
A little bit.
Just a little.
Oh no, I think my internet died.
Just a little bit.
Yeah,
We're all Atreides now.
We're all
Yeah.
Matri now.
Matri
My
has
internet
developed.
died for a second.
Yes, join us.
Oh, I hate that.
Well, we know who the BBEG is now.
Don't worry. At least if Matri becomes the big bad guy, we can pay Matri off.
Matri is anything if a capitalist.
I love that that is the plan.
It's gonna be like the end of the live action Scooby Doo movie where Orem was just piloting Matri like a human suit the entire time.
Oh, God. I hate that.
Are we talking about that? I thought we didn't talk about that.
We don't talk about Scrappy. The only thing that came out of that was Matthew Lillard, and that's all that matters. But yeah, remind me, how does Zatch dress? Does he have like arm coverings at all?
Like,
Does he wear gloves? Long sleeve shirt?
he'd probably have those, like, I don't know what the fuck, like the forearm thing,
Okay,
but
so
like, just a shirt.
Bracers.
But
So-
like, no, bracers. Bracers, but like no gloves.
so you'd be covered all the way through, besides like your face and whatnot, right?
So think Hercules, like the TV show, live action.
Okay. Then, as you fall back, your hand. The only thing people will notice really seems to change about you is as the purple mist goes up, your hands appear to be the same static look that the dragons from up north were that you've been dealing with, but not any of the rest of you.
Oh. That ain't good.
This is what our mothers warned us about.
This ain't good.
Hairy palms. No, static palms.
Harry, no, get out.
But yeah, he's
Sark is absolutely losing their mind.
what is Sark?
Sark was like right up there with them because
Oh, there you go.
Yes.
Sark tried to do the acrobatic thing and
That's
you
right.
nixed it.
Yep. I was like, where is Sark? Not all y'all are dead, so let's just get rid of you.
Let's get rid of you.
But
I think
yeah,
the big one is the most appropriate to leave there, given that it just impaled Zatch.
you know, you're right. Let me put it back.
It's a shriveled up thing that is.
Actually, no, it's disappeared into purple smoke that's kind of dissipating up into the
Okay.
air.
Yeah,
All right,
this is big brain time.
that'll do it.
Well, now we gotta figure out how to fix him. Obviously, something is wrong.
I'm just staring at my hands like I got really fucking high.
Listen, because Sark was so ready and willing to try to rescue Sark is already there and panicked, and all of his fur is on edge, and he is literally trying to hold Zatch and is can't really articulate anything, just cracked out cat face.
Well, who has the glasses?
I do.
Why don't you take a quick look? That way we could see what the fuck is going on. How about that?
Jeez.
Good
Uh,
I'll have
idea.
Ferris go over and do that. I was gonna say she had no idea that Zatch just got impaled. She was off in the distance, and Bubs is closer than she is, so he probably would run over and.
Bubs is trying to eat my hands.
So then I'll flip down the goggles and take a look at Zatch's hands.
It looks exactly like the dragons, and as you, a lot of the time when you look at people, it's kind of like a formless human-y blob around them, kind of like an aura. But now Zatch's has it's condensed down to an exact person shape, and it's like someone in a horror movie ripped off his arms, and you see like gouges into it. It is not a clean cut. It is just like somebody ripped them out of him. And
Oh my god.
So what do you see?
Is
So,
no one gonna mention the fact that we just saw him get impaled in the chest? Is he
I just-
bleeding
that's,
out?
I was gonna say it's not me.
No, he
not-
specifically said that there was no injuries.
yes,
Uh,
that'd be the first thing. That would be another thing that Sark would notice. That would just probably confuse the hell out of him.
You can just see obviously that Ferris is trying to find the right words to say here, but she's just at a loss for them. And
Understandable.
it's pretty easy to tell what exactly she's thinking, but she doesn't want to say it.
As you keep staring at him,
Touch Sark.
you touch Sark and you feel it. It's like, you know when your hands are numb and you can kind of feel stuff when you touch it? It's like there's just a
Like you know you're touching something, but you can't feel it.
there's just that littlest bit of that. And Ferris, you don't see it spreading. It's just his arms as far as you can see.
I still don't trust that. I'm gonna just try to not push or grab, but just kind of nudge away from the physical contact as to like, don't do that.
That's fine. It's okay. It's okay. This is fucking terrifying and weird for me.
Did you just attempt to prevent Zatch from touching Thark?
Don't know what it does yet.
Sark is
I don't know either.
wholeheartedly not caring and is checking over every last little bit of Zatch.
I'm gonna stand up
We need to
and
tell
just
Elizabeth.
kind of pick a point on a wall. I don't know if this is gonna be any different, but I'm gonna Eldritch Blast the wall. See if it shows up any different than it usually does.
Oh yes. It's the same chains, and the chains themselves are golden, but the energy around them is this deep purple.
All right.
That's new. Okay.
It's a familiar purple. If anyone wants to roll, I think it'd be wisdom to try to remember something.
I could definitely attempt, but I make no promises that I will succeed.
So,
Every time you
would
say
it
that,
be-
you succeed fantastically.
Wisdom or history?
oh wait, no, I just did a save.
Yeah.
Would this be wisdom or history?
Matri immediately remembers that looks a lot like the big crystal you kind of chunked out of the ground earlier. Same with Sark. Takes a second more in the panic, but you realize it.
Oh yeah, because I'm holding it, aren't I?
Maybe.
I think I was holding.
No,
I think I had.
No, I have the crystal. It's in a box. Because I didn't want to touch the
Oh yeah,
crystal.
you do. And I did.
You did touch the crystal.
I did. I
You were the one
touched
to
the
gather-
crystal.
You were the one to gather it. Okay, so what is our plan here?
I was the only person to physically touch the crystal.
We
Matri,
need
what-
to tell Elizabeth about this.
What are
right
we?
now.
Yes.
What are we trying to Arcana?
What the relation between that and the crystal might be, or I don't know, any information about lingering magic effects, something. I don't know.
All right.
How the crystal might be, what effect the crystal might be having, basically.
Okay, I get. Where you found the crystal, it was a little, essentially like a little hole in the stone. Where you found the chest, where like they seem to hide the chest, and then
With the porn.
and the gold and like whatnot,
The porn Sark kept.
and behind that was a mark that was almost like it was the crystal, but it didn't stop going in. You took so much of it and then put it in the box and then left. So there was still more going in. And it I'm trying to figure out how to explain this. It was almost like something bored through the ground, and that's what the crystal left behind. And roughly, you can kind of get that the same whatever like magic or power the big tentacle thing had, it was roughly similar to the Night Eye to to the energy
All
that
getting cat ass rubbed into our ear.
came off the crystal.
Hmm.
So they do relate to one another. But you haven't ever seen this before. So you're a little like, you know it relates, but you're not quite sure where it comes from or what the hell's going on with it.
Okay.
Excuse me. I'm sorry.
Bless you.
Hydrate, thank you.
Hmm.
Gabu kind of comes up and gently pokes at Sark and Zatch and goes, "Is everything okay?"
Sark is going to look from Gabu to Zatch and back, and is just going to keep repeating the phrase, "We can fix this. We can fix this. We can fix this."
Just gonna shove my hands in my pockets until we get back to where we're going.
Fair enough. So, well, we
No
do need
need
to get
to
this over
cause
to
a panic by
Elizabeth.
having invisible.
We do need to give an update that we got rid of the creature thing that was causing issues. Obviously, since, you know.
Maybe in more ways than one.
Gabu, I come with you. Help explain.
This is going to perk Sark up a little bit.
Help explain.
Hold on. Let me look at it.
Slightly less
Something.
panic stricken.
What spells do I have access to?
I'll be right back.
Okay.
I only have first level. What can I do at first level? What can I do? What can I fucking do?
What can you do? That's the question.
I could detect magic on my own fucking hands.
I mean,
That's about it. Or actually, hold on.
I'm open to anything. Gabu's kind of standing on the other side of you, heading toward the gate. Just kind of looking back, like, eh?
Can I just try something? It's probably not going to work. It's probably going to waste one of my spell slots, but fuck it.
What are you thinking?
I'm going to cast Lesser Restoration on Zatch.
Okay.
I don't think it's going to do anything, but it's a lot better than just sitting here doing absolutely nothing.
True.
Yeah, nothing
'Cause I'm gonna
happens.
try something. I'm gonna try something. It's a little out there.
Yeah, nothing happens.
Once we're all on the wagon home, because I need an hour to cast this spell.
Fun.
But yeah,
Long freaking time.
It's ceremony.
nothing happens, and Gabu just kind of sits there or stands there staring at everybody like, we go? Friend okay?
We go.
Yes. And he kind of starts babbling for a
Very
second.
pointedly only answering the first half of his question.
He kind of just starts talking as you're walking back to the cart. And he's just like, so Iktuk, Iptuk come in home. You bring him. I assume you bring him back. Yes. Iptuk, friend. Lost in woods. Said you bring back, save something. Well, Yes.
We weren't given names of particular people. We just said there was a scouting party that was out there. We found.
We
One
brought.
dude. We brought one dude back.
Well, he came back
We did.
before all of you. Iptuck was his name, and he
Okay.
just he kind of goes quiet for a second and then just shakes his head and goes, he just turned into big scary thing and then started hurting people.
He was big
Iptuck
thing?
was the creature.
Yeah, big thing. He just kind of melted into that.
Hmm.
Did you notice anything that he may have brought back with him?
God, no, he had nothing, just clothes. Said everything was left behind when attacked.
That's bizarre.
Well, unfortunate. Not much we can really do about it now.
Hmm.
Yes. Let us go back your home. To your home. And I think big lady who's scary.
Yeah, Elizabeth. We'll just check in with the shaman, let him know that the creature's been dealt with, and get back to Elizabeth. That way we can try to figure out what's going on.
Yes. What are you investigating?
The area where we just battled the big bad before it disappeared into smoke to see if there's anything that was left.
Not a goddamn thing. And even the kobold's bodies, have that it, didn't just murder, have disappeared too. The ones that, like, turned into something.
Do we need to talk with the head honcho before we head back? Since
We're going to anyway.
That's what I said. Like we're gonna update him, let him know that we found the creature out there. Complications arised, but it's been taken care of.
Yeah.
At least as far as I'm aware, it's been taken care of. Anybody else see any of the other odd things with the glasses?
I didn't see anything.
And the only person that would be able to would be Ferris.
Yeah, nothing.
And I mean everyone in the town. If this thing can stow away inside of people, and
I think we know where it is.
Yes, but a lot of other
No, that's a
things
fair point.
disappeared.
I'm gonna flip him back down and just take a long gaze around.
You don't see anything. You just see a bunch of sad kobolds, scared ones.
It's really hard to get around with your hands in your pockets.
We're clear.
I feel like my balance is off.
Okay, well, let's go update the shaman and let's head back.
Yeah, let's go.
You see him kind of calming down a bunch of non-fightery scared kobolds. They're just kind of mauled around him, like freaked out. It's like, it's okay. Big people fix. No more issues. Right? And he turns to you guys.
Well, we killed the big one. We killed the infected ones that were out in the wild. And it looks like there's no other sources of the weird beast anywhere. So, as far as we can immediately tell, it looks like everything is taken care of.
Out of curiosity, did you happen to know who lived in that random hut we found?
Random hut. What?
Had magical carpets.
Old house down left side?
Yes.
old wizard think? We never bothered going there. Little too spooky.
Does anyone know what happened to him?
Was gone even when we got here.
Ah,
Just see book left outside one day. Talk about magic. Assume wizard.
What book?
Oh, just a diary. And he kind of goes into his tent, rifles through some stuff, and then walks out and hands you like a leather-bound journal.
It is always safe to assume wizard.
I'm gonna flip through it. What does it say inside?
yeah, because we thought we already found the diary. That means this is a second diary.
It's a wizard spell book.
Hmm.
I hate to break it to you, but this is not a diary.
Eh? Is it not? It's all gibberish.
I'm gonna hand it to Inglewill. Good with spells, yeah? Take a look.
She's gonna look at the book. She's gonna look back at you, then look back at the book, look back at you again, and say, "I'm the sorcerer."
I've got a Drake.
I'm a cat.
This is a wizard spell book.
I'm not a magical person. You're the closest thing I could think of to a person who knows what this shit does.
You don't even know what any of this is. All my magic is innate and inherent. I don't have to do I don't have to do any studying or anything for it. This is all complicated formulas and patterns and weave manipulations that just make no sense to me. It's all German to me.
The fuck
What's
is
German?
It's a foreign language. It's a thing. It's a foreign language.
Shark, you speak German?
Is that an orc language?
It's a dwarven
No
language.
offense, Sark.
Sark's like, I know. German. It sounds like word.
German.
It sounds
I will
like.
tuck it away in my bag because it is still
No,
potentially
bef-
useful.
Right after you gave me the lip the first time, Ferris is just gonna stuff it back in her pocket.
Okay.
It is the language of the merfolk because they like to be complicated, and instead of just calling it merman, they call it German.
German.
Low.
I feel like I just had a stroke while hearing that. What?
It's specifically the merfolk dialect from the Germain region.
It's just the Germain merfolk dialect, yes.
Yep, I picked that up.
I like the low-key shade that's being thrown.
Yeah, we
Low
started
key?
this session off really sassy.
We've got a month's worth of energy holding up in here.
Didn't hold up
real.
well.
It didn't.
No.
We went out the gate swinging.
All right. But yeah, you guys can just head back to town if you like.
Well, yep, that would be ideal since we gotta.
All right. The map will
Yeah.
change.
I'm gonna grab a flask of water and cast ceremony and turn it into holy water on the way back.
Just gonna drink it.
No, I'm gonna pour it on my fucking hands.
He's
We got
making hand
Heisenberg in the back
sanitizer.
making holy water.
Hand sanitizer,
It's sanitizer.
makeup.
You just have COVID.
You're inventing the pharmaceutical industry.
Zatch, this wouldn't have happened. You just washed your hands.
Ooh,
Listen, each square is 5 feet.
poor
You need to
boy.
be one in a little bit of a square away.
I'm gonna ask if I can just go to
Yeah,
Elizabeth, and then y'all can follow.
This
if you
adventure
want,
is
but you don't have to come with.
This
Hey,
is
what's this updated area to the right here?
that is the little blacksmith's tent. The
Oh, very
little
nice.
the little fella you helped set up has
Love
basically
life.
fully set up. Yep, she's over there in the you see her mingling. But the little thing on the right is a blacksmith's tent. The little halfling you helped out has like his bed and stuff covered, but then everything else is over on the left and so whatnot.
Cool. Sorry to interrupt. Thanks for explaining that.
No, glad to.
So you got gloves for sale?
You could ask him.
I'll do it
Actually-
after.
You know what?
After we talk to Elizabeth.
Yes,
We already
sir.
talked about this, but I need some armor in general.
Yes, sir.
I don't have any armor.
Yeah,
give
we
myself
found this out after last session. She just wasn't wearing any armor this entire time.
Jesus.
just been a naked cat boy with a scarf.
You've been wearing clothes, it's not armor.
Yes.
Maybe that's how you get all the wife appeal.
The confidence of going into battle unarmored. But it's not confidence, it's just ignorance. Obliviousness.
Just about to say, the only one that I failed to pick up was the pretty moth lady, and she saw right through that. You're not confident, you're just stupid.
It's cute like a pet, not so much.
She also saw you slap fighting a woman.
Fair.
Alright, I'm gonna go. Yeah, and you did lose that fight.
Listen,
That's why you fell over.
I'm gonna go to
only 'cause I got
Elizabeth's
put
room
to
and
sleep.
knock on the door with my foot because my hands are still in my pockets.
Listen, Sark is like right basically up your butt crack and is doing anything and everything you need.
I assume you're all piling in, which the town at this point is very used to. Like even Bubs is following in.
We move as a clump.
you hear the little goblin lady go, "Yes."
Is Elizabeth here? We kind of need her real bad.
She's in her one room, so I guess.
It is an emergency.
Yeah.
Come in here, and then I'll use the door to get to her. And you hear the door open, and she waves everybody in. Come on. Pile in. And the
It
door.
needs to be noted that Sark is like kind of on guard for some reason.
Of course, fair. You're so on guard, you lost your health. You just have 15 of 14 blue.
That's just called
15
anxiety.
out of 14. 15 out of 14 blue.
Bingo, baby.
Just that good.
Little did you know, severe anxiety gives you a +1 to your armor class.
Did you know it gives you a +1 to blue?
It gives you a dodge bonus because you're always shaking.
How did,
You pile
how
in the.
does
Yes.
she have pictures on hers?
Whose has what's on what's?
Sarks has pictures.
What?
Oh, I don't know. That's new to me too.
Pictures?
You have a little plus sign. You have a little health signs.
Oh, is it because they're over max?
I don't know.
No, they probably clicked on icon whenever they were updating their thing that applies one of the little status icons to their thing.
Oh, so it's probably like
it's showing up
health.
as active that way people can see this. There's a status icon on there.
Yeah, it's
They might
probably
have
got.
gotten knocked down or something at some point.
No, it's on the health bar, so I think it's just showing like, oh, this is health or whatever. Yeah, now you've got little pluses. You got baby pluses.
Yeah, because I put them in manually.
Anyway, you all pile in the room.
13 of 14. Wait, what?
The goblin lady who I really need to write down the name of because I've forgotten.
It was like an L or something, but it's on my old computer.
She gives a hard knock on the door, and then it opens to the room Elizabeth took you to the one time, and she's a little like bleary eyed and she kind of looks in and goes, what do all of you need now?
Emergency.
Emergency.
I pull my hands out of my pockets and hold them up.
And you see her face just go white. And she pulls you in quickly and just come in. And she drags you over to the most comfortable seat she has, forces you into it, and starts grabbing at your arm and checking it out.
Sark is like a hair's breadth behind him, watching very carefully.
No.
You don't need to be on guard with her, with me. She won't hurt me.
I couldn't even yell at you when you did something wrong as a boy, let alone hurt you. Not that you did something wrong often.
Kind of true.
So, for an explanation of what happened, we got to the kobold place. The nightmare thingies apparently had attacked them. We searched the woods. We found a bunch of infested ones that got messed with. Killed them. Took one of the kobolds back to camp. It was a survivor. Then went to go make sure nothing else was out in the forest. Came back and there was a really big one attacking the town.
It had tentacles and
it had tentacles and stuff. We fought it, killed it, and it stabbed him when it died.
Through the chest.
I'm gonna take this opportunity to introduce you to my Gabu.
Hello.
Oh, Gabu's with us.
And she talks to him. She asks him to describe what happened while you weren't there, and that's when she somehow gets even paler, and it's just like, oh no. Okay, so you ran into one of the main ones. That was definitely one of the things that I told you about.
Right.
I kind of gathered that from the giant,
The fact it was making a bunch of those littler ones.
Yes. Well,
we did manage to kill it, though.
That's good.
Did we, though? Is it not just I point at my hand?
No.
I use one hand to point at the other hand.
That's not how these things work. It's dead. It's dead. It dissipated into smoke, correct?
Yes. And all the things that it created.
Yes. See, this should only happen to people who have dragon blood in them.
Well, I guess we found out you have some kind of heritage in dragon blood.
I think that's the least of our concerns here.
It's a great
Yeah.
honor to have dragon's blood in you. Sucks
It
that you
is.
found out about it, but it's still good to know.
Well,
Or
Because let's be fair, it's quite possible that he's got dragon's blood in him because male dragons can be specifically kind of promiscuous. That's all I'm gonna say.
you should have met my stepmother. But okay, I I've never in my life seen this before. Normally, if there's enough dragon blood for this to happen, well, I assume you saw what you've seen multiple times now, what someone turns into.
Yeah.
This doesn't
Yeah.
happen.
There's also my magic's changed because of it.
Show me. Aim up.
Blast the ceiling.
Oh. Oh. Oh, no.
Not the only thing that glows that color that we have.
Oh yeah, we found this. I walk in, open up my bag, pull out the box, and put the box on our desk.
Don't touch it.
Don't
by the way.
touch. Don't touch.
I did not want to directly touch the crystals that are inside here personally, because yeah. But I'm gonna open up the box to show the crystals off.
I'm sure you can guess who touched them.
I have not directly touched any of them. I've touched the box.
She kind of looks at you a little worried before opening the box. And then equal parts sounding relieved and annoyed. She sighs.
No.
No.
She picks
Mom
up,
is disappointed.
she picks up one of the crystals and then just kind of gently pokes Ingawil on the forehead with it. You're fine. This isn't anything dangerous.
Okay. I was worried. It was found near those creatures, and with as much as it can cause issues, we didn't want to take chances.
This is... When one of those creatures comes to this world, they burrow through reality, so to speak. And where they come out from, it's like a trail a worm leaves underground, or a mole, but it's still there. What you found was, I assume, where it popped out of the ground and waited.
Okay, well, so do these crystals have any particular properties?
Yes, and I'd prefer none of you really mess with it, but if you want a demonstration...
Well, I mean, if we're gonna be around this stuff, we should know what it does and such.
She takes a piece of the crystal. Just snaps it in half to get it nice and small. And, excuse me, I'm having a moment. Let's see, this is...
I honestly thought you were saying that it was gonna snap in half and start glowing.
No.
Glue stick. Ah, understood.
It's time for a rave.
Let's see, what was one of the things I saw? You know what? She basically just eeny miny mows you until she points at Matri with the gem, and Matri, for the first time in your life, you have a headache, like an ear-splitting headache, and you take 1 point psychic damage if you can. I forget if you can or not.
If you can.
I forget how that works against. I forget how psychic damage works against construct.
He's a warforged, so he's treated as a normal person. for like mental attacks and such because he's got a soul. That's also what allows him to be healed.
Then yeah, you have a splitting headache.
They're a little bit more resistant to it narratively, but you know.
And as far as all of you know, nothing happened. Just Matri. I assume Atreides?
Yeah, he's AFK. I just
Ah.
swapped back to Discord and it says
Damn.
Matri AFK
All
a
right.
sec.
Well, then we'll change that. And Ferris now has a bit of a headache.
Oh, shit. All right.
Goes, it does something like that, and a lot more, but I really don't need another person getting into this stuff.
What do you mean another person?
There's an academy of sorts that deals with this, and I don't particularly get along with the one who created it.
An academy?
I like to call it an academy, but it's more of a cult. What are you sleight of handing?
Of
Dick
course,
quiz.
Sark is trying to take the things she doesn't want them to have.
Mind you, I have to assume it is a... You dug this out of the ground and then just kind of stopped at a point. How much of this are you trying to take? Even with a... How big a...
It's a 20.
How big a chunk?
It was me digging it, so
I know. How big a chunk are you trying to steal?
Well, I mean, she broke it in
isn't it all
half,
one
so
piece except what she
whatever.
broke off?
Yeah, she broke off like a longer piece and then broke that piece in half. And it... Yeah, actually, you're just trying to steal it. Okay, when she noticed it, she...
Does she notice though?
I mean, it's gone. This, like, head-sized crystal formation.
But she could be distracted by other events. We're talking about you know, the hands
And me.
everything. You know, there's distractions.
Maybe she thought she put it in a drawer.
You know what? If this is anything less than 20, sure. She turns around to throw the crystal that she broke back in with the other one, notices it missing, and then goes, just put it back, and turns back around and goes, yes, there's an academy of people who deal with this kind of magic that I don't particularly like, though it's more of a cult.
It's a cult?
Yes, I don't particularly like the one in charge, and that's all there really is to say about it.
I see.
Is it just kind of pertinent information if this cult is somehow connected with what's happening?
They... Without explaining much more of the world than you probably want to know right now, I can earnestly tell you that they're the last place I'd like you to go talking and looking at right now.
But I mean, we might need to talk to them with his hands being that way.
Yes, but they would also be the last place you would want to go. So
We also need this information in case we bump into them on our every other option.
you will not. Trust me. But I will give you the information. But I need you to promise me that you're not going to go there first, because Well, my children, it looks like you're going out into the world.
But I just got here.
I know, and I'm just as disappointed in having to send you out as anyone is, but if we're going to get this fixed, the only real place I know is the dragons. Ferris can attest to that they're knowledgeable in just about everything.
You think they'd be willing to help?
Just
What with this being more of a thing for them than it is for me?
this is
I'll
new.
probably be concerned that it's growing
Yes.
and try to figure out why.
You should be fine. You're not infectious. You shouldn't be, at least. Just
I mean, I touched the cat, and cat seems fine. Well, as fine as, you know. Yeah.
here. She turns around. She opens the door. You can see her pick something up, and then she dumps the goblin in your arms. Hold this for a moment. Feel any different? Anything odd? My neck hurts because you grabbed me, but I'm okay. Why? You're fine. You're not infectious to Dragonkin. And she picks her back up and hucks her up back onto the bed and through the door.
Did you just use your sister as a test to see if it was infectious?
Mm-hmm.
It was her or you, little one. Which would you prefer?
Me?
I wouldn't, so.
Oh.
It wouldn't either.
But what if something happened to your sister?
Then I would have had to put her
It'd be
down
worse if
like a
Sark is just
sick
going to
dog.
shuffle in front of
With which how much
Goblin.
she's with which how much she's been annoying me, I very much want to do already. So it was a win-win if something bad did happen.
That's kind of awful to think about.
It's mostly me saying that in anger. I was almost 100% sure he was fine.
But there was a chance.
there's always a chance.
Yes, and everybody in the room would have argued if I would have even looked at you, right? Yes.
Huh?
Sark gets a murderous expression.
Exactly. So I did the easiest thing. But that's not what's important. I didn't think I would ever have to bother with these damn things again. And
What are
she...
they?
Oh, this is something else. You're going to have to get there the old-fashioned way. The dragons... How do I say this? If you intend to go there, magic can't take you nearby. Because they're a bunch of bastards like that. So she goes up to a wall of books, kind of just pushes a bunch of them out of the way, pulls out a big chest, and starts rifling through it. You're going... How does returning to the homeland of the dragons sound, Ferris?
I'm in. You don't need to say any more to convince me.
The rest of you?
I've never been to the homeland of the dragons.
It's fucking great, it is.
Maybe they can tell me why my scales keep changing colors.
Probably. They're know-it-all pricks sometimes.
Why don't you like the other dragons?
About 100 years ago, before things got better, they were very isolationist and very rude.
Hmm.
Part of why Ferris is here. Probably shouldn't have said that, but at this point, you're going back, so I don't care. She
Wait,
looks
why was Ferris here?
she looks very tired.
Why were you here, Ferris?
Let's focus on Zesh's arms for right now, yeah?
I mean, we're gonna find out anyways, so...
Let's let her tell us when she's ready to.
I'm glad that one of you can take the hint.
Hint?
The hint being I don't want to talk about it right now, Inga will.
And
Sark is
Oh.
going to glance at their tiny himbo and remember that their tiny waifu is also here.
Gabu's currently kind of just staring off in a direction. And as the conversation has been going on, One Eye has been slowly drifting off in another direction. And he's tuned out.
So Sark is going to be investigating this lazy eye.
Wait,
Completely checks out of the conversation at this point.
you would until Elizabeth walks up to each of you, drops a very heavy pouch in your hand, in each of your hands, and goes, 1,000 gold for each of you. Please, for the
What?
love of all that is holy, do not waste it. You do have to use this to get across the ocean. And then she hands what looks to be like red silk, like a big red silk blanket to Ingawil.
Hmm? What's this?
It's an emergency fund.
It's
Oh
a
dear
what?
God.
It's an emergency fund. It's very magical, but it only has a few uses left. And if you ever absolutely need money, just give it a look over and a shake.
Okay. I'm going to put it in my bag.
Is Matri back?
Yes.
Matri, Elizabeth looks over to you, hands you your money, and goes, "You're going to be in charge for this first leg of this, as you're going to Etrigard."
Oh. 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 Fascinating. Fascinating. Fascinating.
I saw
The
it.
echo?
The echo was in my head.
Oh God!
Matri
I
was down
will
that
endeavor
hallway.
to do my best. Do my best.
Gotta clip that.
Where did that hallway come from?
Clip.
That threw me off terribly. Yes, they'll have the best ships to get you across the sea to the dragons as quickly as possible. And then on the little coffee table she pulls out a map and takes everybody to another page on it.
Ooh.
And goes, all right.
On the map, on the map, on the map.
Your goal is here.
Where are we?
We are here.
That's pretty far away.
Yes, you're going to have to take a ship from Etrigard over across the water, deal with... I don't even remember that place's name at the moment.
Here?
That's where you need to go, into the mountains. You should head...
Okay.
Now, you don't need to just go willy-nilly into the mountains. If you can find your way to here, there should be... I don't know if it's a city yet, or a town, or a kobold den. It will lead where you need to be. And the rest of
Interesting.
getting there is up to you. I was a teacher, not a mother, when it comes to things. I care about my students, and I would really rather Zatch not be hurt anymore by this. So,
Sark is going to squint at her for a second.
God, this is my starting HP.
she rolls her eyes and just goes, ugh. I've known this boy since he came to the orphanage. I'd really rather he not be dead. We don't have enough.
Sounds like something a mother would say.
God, no.
Okay, then I'm very secretly motherly.
Damn
Well,
straight.
Is it secretly, though?
That's why Sark was
I can
squinting
send you
at her.
back to the orphanage.
It's exactly what my mother would say if I had one.
Gives you a hug, pat on the head. It's like, it's okay, honey. But that money should suffice. And just please don't lose all of it or waste all of it. You do have to, or you're going to have to figure out how to pay for everything yourselves.
Sark is just
Understandable.
going to quietly waggle their little hands.
I'm gonna. Have you handed Sark their money yet?
Yes.
Yes. Sark absolutely already has their money.
Oh no. Oh boy.
All right. Well, it's unfortunate that we're gonna have to leave, which means you guys are gonna have to find new people to keep an eye out on stuff.
Yes, or I'm going to be very busy. I don't know which, but we've already come to depend on all of you. So please come
know.
back safely. She smacks the back of your head. That's what I mean by being a smart
Ow.
ass. A smart ass.
I'll come back. Don't
Good.
worry.
All of you. Yes, you may set
Sure.
off when you wish.
The sooner we get going, the better, I think.
I
What
just
is-
need to make a stop at the armorers first.
Yes, what is Sark doing?
Leaving behind what looks like he put the thing back,
Okay.
but it's not all the thing. Sark is not wasting a nat 20 on putting it back.
Fair. All right. Then I'm going to quickly use the bathroom. find what you would like to buy, and I will deal with the monies and how things cost and stuff when I get back.
I just want a breastplate.
Well, RP, you have traveling to do.
We do.
We do.
Yeah, we do.
Maybe invest in some gauntlets instead.
Oh, that's already on the table for sure.
I mean, you could just get
I'm.
gloves.
Mhm. I'd like a little more protection as well. You know, I've taken some good hits that weren't necessarily necessary.
No.
I'm trying to not.
There's one way to put it.
Uh,
Is everyone okay? Ferris, do you need to do anything with Bubs and the other one before we leave?
Yeah, I've got to get the other Drake squared away before we leave.
Have you named the other one yet, or is it still just the other one?
You'll see.
Oh.
I've got some ideas in mind after my session training under Matri.
Hmm. That'll be interesting.
Got some big ideas for it if it might work out, but too early to tell.
Ready for a shopping episode?
Heck yeah.
Boy, oh boy, let's go.
Need to throw on some music, have a little shopping montage moments.
I can try and haggle prices down. I got good persuasion.
Listen. Low key, a little sad I wasted that
Arcana is
nat
better than
20
my
on that random
persuasion.
crystal.
I also realized you did nat 20 to try and save me last episode, but I like this so much better.
Last episode.
Last episode a month ago.
Last time on Dragon Ball Z.
Cool.
Sark
Hey,
failed
this
collecting another wife.
Nuh-uh, I got a himbo.
but succeeded in collecting a husband.
I was gonna say, I said a wife.
Dear, are you okay? We're back.
Uh-oh. Is there anything you want to do around town, Matri?
I don't think so, no.
I'm the only one that needs to buy shit.
I cannot think of many things I need.
True. I mean,
I mean, Sark
you're
needs
kind of a multi-purpose tool.
armor.
I'm looking to see if there's anything I might even want to try and buy.
You can have my old armor when I buy my new one.
What armor did you have?
Studded leather. Which would be 12, make your AC 12 plus your dex.
My AC is 15.
And your dex is plus 4.
My dex. Where's my dex? It's 5.
Is 5. So yeah, with that, you'd be at 17. You'd be where I am.
Okay.
But I'm only there because I have a shield.
Is Dakota okay?
Yeah, he's okay. He's just. Bleh.
Just blech.
Yep.
Inglewill want to do anything in town?
Not particularly, no. She doesn't
Okay.
really have any shopping to do, or.
All good.
I think we've determined I'm the only one that needs shopping.
There. What do you want to buy?
Okay. Some breastplate and some gauntlets. The gauntlets are mostly like cosmetic to cover my hands.
Yeah.
And then Sark is going to inherit his old armor.
Yes.
Breastplate, that's 400.
Yeah. It's a lot. Dipping into what we got already.
The gloves are like 10 copper. The little halfling gives you
Yeah.
a nice pair. White. You make sure they're dyed white to go with your hair.
Listen, you didn't
Do we
even
get any sort of
attempt-
discount for being the town heroes?
You're
roll
right.
charisma.
450 gold. He jokes, but if you want to roll, you can.
I'm gonna roll my persuasion. I'm gonna
Hell
try.
yeah, brother.
How's a 26?
Yeah.
First he says the 450, and he starts laughing and goes, "All right, 350 for you."
Alright. Put it on the counter for him. I'll have Sark grab them because I'm still trying to not cause panic with my hands.
Absolutely. Sark is assisting. If Sark gets armor out of this, he's doing all your dirty work for you.
Sark is
And,
my errand boy.
Yes.
as you're going to the wagon, you're interrupted by one of the local kids, and he's like, "No, Miss Elizabeth said you get a different one over here," and the kid leads you over to it looks to be exactly the same kind of wagon, but the horses are like, they're those like
Better.
thick-legged horses with the fancy
More
hair
majestic.
and whatnot. Like the long distance
Like a
horses.
Clydesdale.
Yeah, the kind of thing that's either working or walking a lot. Like a lot more than it's
Can
meant
they
for
carry
long distance
Bubs?
horse.
Yeah,
Check
update
inside,
my
I
AC.
assume.
I was going to assume that we'd hook Bubs up to the front as well.
19.
If you want to, sure.
And 19 AC
I
now.
mean,
Extra
Bubs is-
power can't hurt.
do
Bubs is
we
the-
want to do that though? Is he gonna freak the horses out? Because I don't know that I can animal handle my way out of that.
That's a good question. Does Bubs have stats? I forget.
He does, in fact.
Roll Bubs' charisma.
Oh no.
Let's go. All right. Let me actually find his. There's a stat block. Okay. I'm finally getting to break in these new dice.
Hey.
Well, that is a 13.
The horses kind of huff at him as you hook him up, but they aren't like overly angry or whatever. They're just not quite agreeable.
They're snooty, is what you're telling us.
More so like we've been doing this just fine. We don't need a third, and then you give us this weirdo. Fine, whatever.
That's a weird fucking horse.
Yeah, it's a weird fucking horse, guys. Come on.
What kind of horse has scales?
What kind of horse has
Dragon
scales?
horse.
It's a dragon horse. It's a dragon horse.
Someone describing a Pokemon. I like the dragon horse.
The dragon horse.
Careful, you
Fire
said it
Emblem
too fast
Fates.
too many times.
My favorite house. Before we leave, I'm going to make sure that the other Drake is squared away. and is going to be tended to.
It's not in your room anymore, and just as you're probably about to start panicking, Elizabeth walks by and goes, "It's in the caravan. I knew you wouldn't trust me. Just check it."
All right. I'm gonna go check the caravan then.
You open the door inside, and it's a small house sized.
Oh yeah.
What the fuck?
I'm
And
sorry.
Hey, you giving us style.
It's a carriage of holding.
It's a carriage of holding.
I mean, when I say small house, I mean like the beds are head to head, and there's enough room
Yeah.
for Bubs and the other Drake, and then there's like a little kitchen / like pile of boxes you put stuff in.
So it's an apartment.
Yeah.
We all 5 of us plus 2 Drakes in a studio apartment.
And don't forget Gabu and I forgot her name. I wanted to call her Moira.
Mazuga?
Maziga.
Mazuga.
Oh, she's coming with us.
Yeah, they're hanging out in there too. They're
Your
gonna-
wife and husband.
Yes. I must bring my harem.
They travel with me, please.
Listen, the wife speaks dinosaur. It might come in handy.
Wife's sorry. The wife speaks dinosaur.
For anyone who paid attention, this was the carriage that Elizabeth rode in on to begin with.
Oh, okay.
So it's the fancy one.
The fancy,
Am I not-
one.
Cozy.
Carriage, where?
And you are free to go. You are free to. I have. You're done with the tutorial.
Yay! Complete the
Yay.
tutorial, guys.
It's like
We
in
beat the
original-
prologue.
Yeah, it's like in the original Final Fantasy when the game actually starts.
When they built the bridge, now you can literally go fuck off. You could ignore Zatch, but his problem like entirely if you want.
Yeah, you could.
Like you get distracted.
If you really
shit.
want to, you can actually do it.
Like you've been given.
You don't think I don't got like 10 characters in the chamber?
There's nothing saying this is lethal. And until like a month goes by and you see if it starts growing, then you don't know if it spreads.
Well, we should at least start heading towards the land of the dragons, I suppose.
Yeah. This is big brain time.
Definitely big brain time.
All in favor of ignoring Zatch's problem. Say aye.
I.
Even Zatch says I. Alright, so I can't really see the map with all these icons just kind of.
Oh, here, then I will
Yeah.
move you
So
all.
we're here.
Put ourselves in the ocean.
We're
Here.
basically gonna do like a
Did you call it
this.
the ocean?
Listen.
Why
there's-
here
Saying that-
instead of here in one of these towns?
Because we're going to Etrigard.
Yeah.
Is this Etrigard?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Etrigard has the current best ships and trade routes, and
Yeah, but this is an RPG. We're gonna get to Etrigard to find out that pirates destroyed all the ships, so now we have to go to the seedy place that has less good ships, and we have to continue on that way.
maybe you
Etrigard.
you could go all the way down south to Deerful.
Etrigard truly
we're gonna go to
is.
Etrigard to get a ship, some big fight's gonna break out. We're gonna get in a big fight. The ships are gonna be decommissioned for it. So then we're gonna have to travel all the way up north, but then find out there's some kind of stupid tyrant king that's kicking everybody out. So the only way to do it, we go all the way south, this tiny little town down here, and then we have to sail. But then we're gonna get hit by a storm and thrown all the way over here, and that's how RPGs work. There's no such thing as point A to point B.
Etrigard
Then we
truly
do this, and then we do this, and then we gotta do this, and then we go here, and then we go,
To Etrigard.
and then like that.
Etrigard truly is.
And then we realize we
the
don't have the
belly
key,
button
so then
of
we
this
gotta go
planet.
here, and then we gotta go here, and we gotta go in there,
And then we
and then back all the way down here,
Get to the land of Drek.
and then we go here.
No. You forgot. We have to go to that tiny little puddle in the middle of that desert.
Oh
Yeah, and
shit,
then
you're right.
Here's where we're gonna
Fuck.
fight the secret endgame boss.
This is where Sephiroth is.
We're going there.
Except for this town. We don't go to this town.
Yeah,
This town has
we gotta-
absolutely nothing. We
gotta
don't
make
go to
sure-
this town. There's
gotta-
nothing here.
And this one.
We gotta make sure we get
And
the
this one.
equipment from beating him.
And
first
this
before
one.
we, yeah, before we.
And we don't go to any of these three.
Yeah, we gotta do all that before we go here and do all the data fights.
Oh god, not
Oh
really.
god.
We gotta fight Organization 17.
And then
The first town we go to, we get introduced to a card game.
Oh no.
And then Elizabeth tries telling us about the Door to Darkness.
If a card game shows up in this RPG, I'm burning it to the ground.
Unless it's Triple Triad. I fuck with Triple Triad.
No, I'm burning it to the ground. We're not doing card games. But I suppose Afterguard is a good first stop.
There, I've named everything for you.
Oh.
We've
Let's
had
see if I
fun.
can-
My graffiti.
Why is there no name for this triple town here?
That's the farmland around Oregard.
Oh,
That's all
okay.
part of this,
It
and
didn't look like farmland.
it's like farmland and little like where I used to live, little towns with farm all around them.
All right, so this is our trajectory. Yeah, exactly. So, how long is it gonna take us to make this trip?
That is,
It's only.
Couple days.
yeah,
It's
like-
only 24 feet.
Look at my brain.
it's a-
Okay, move that in a single action. Let's go.
it's 3 days.
You guys bought food, right?
Oh.
Oh.
'Cause I bought food.
It take us like 11, 12 rounds to reach here. No. 2. 2,
No.
3. 2 or 3. 2 with a dash action.
Listen, I have cat agility, so I
No.
can.
It's one movement here. You steal the boat with an action, then you use the boat to get over here, which is one turn, and then you have
Why
to
are
go
we
through
assuming we're
here.
stealing the boat?
Well, you have to get the boat,
I mean, we probably could.
and then getting from here to
I-
here is a full action because of the rough terrain, and then here to here is a full action because of rough terrain and dialogue options.
Understood.
Wait, but are they like BioWare dialogue options?
You can listen. If you guys want to somehow suddenly turn this into an evil campaign, that's on you.
I don't think my character can do evil things. I'm pretty sure she's physically incapable of doing so.
She would die. Yeah, probably.
She would. She'd try and steal something and just have a heart attack.
That's why Sark has to follow her around.
Evil.
Sark does all the evil
Sark has
shit
to commit-
Ingowil can't.
Sark has to commit the crime she can't.
Alrighty.
But
Okay.
yeah,
So I suppose we will start our adventure, our traveling to Etrigod.
yes.
To
Which-
Etrigod.
Is this the Peninsula of Power up here?
What?
Peninsula of Power up here?
PP
I don't
power.
know who circled that.
I asked you, how do I erase my graffiti? and nobody told
You
me.
click it, right click,
You
and then
select
delete.
it.
Yeah, you select it.
Select it. Okay.
Like you
There
click
we
it,
go.
and you can.
That
yeah,
was
there
where I
you go.
made the joke about the data fights.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
I would just like to
And
point out.
Sephiroth was down here.
Yeah.
Listen, I just
And
wanted to
then
be
right
known.
here is Bahamut.
I just needed to be known. You can always go join a cult in Corehaven. Sacrifice yourself
Oh,
to the
no.
ocean.
Internet die.
I'm gonna have to pass on the ocean as a tabaxi. I feel like sacrificing myself to the ocean's not on my list of things to do. I would like to point out that your map looks like a tiny baby seahorse.
Oh God, it does. The big giant seahorse head.
Yes.
See, you're gonna hate this.
What?
Balls.
Oh no, it's a dick.
Calf.
I wanted
That's
then-
a weird
and then-
looking.
Shooting off.
I wanted it to look like pieces of one continent that broke apart. God damn it! You made my world look like a dick.
It's just a
I
really
feel-
weird. They need a doctor.
Dude.
I
This
don't.
is the ingrown hair.
Especially if it's breaking like that.
There's the foreskin.
Enough dick talk.
She took the fucking foreskin, Luigi.
My skin, Luigi.
Oh my god!
It's a
Why are we like this?
It's a
That's
3-day.
that's from the New Year's Eve stream. Don't worry
It's a
about it.
3-day trip to Atrigard. Do you have food? Do you buy food? It's not much.
I bought food.
You told me I didn't need my rations.
I didn't tell you anything.
I'm talking to the DM here because I asked him, "Do I need all of these rations in my inventory?" And you said, "No, you don't need to keep track of that stuff." And I said, "Great, because it's taking up a lot of my inventory weight."
I
And
know.
you made
I'm,
the joke
I'm,
about
I'm
Bubs
joking.
needing double.
I'm joking. I'm joking. There's food.
Just all of a sudden decided, fuck you, now you have to worry about your food.
Well, during the tutorial,
Tutorial's
you have a
over.
buff that prevents you from getting hungry.
Yeah.
That way you don't starve to death during the tutorial. Now that we're out of the tutorial, that buff is gone. Now you have to deal with rations.
At the time, you didn't need food. Now you need twice as much food. You're in hard. You chose hard on accident.
Sorry, I've got Bubs. That's all I
We
need.
chose survival
Gonna
difficulty in
eat Bubs.
Fallout.
Oh no! Bubs would eat me before I tried that shit.
Bubs would eat you first.
First couple of days.
Bubs
in
would
that new-
absolutely eat us before we even thought about eating him.
First couple of days when that new Drake was around, he was like, and she was, the Ferris like, no, it's not
Is
dead.
food?
It's not dead.
Is food?
Anyway,
Is
Anyway.
for me?
It's the like 15th. I've lost track of how long it's been. It's been about 2 weeks, I'd say, when you get to Atrigard since all this started.
2 or 3, something like that.
You've had a very exciting few weeks. It's still very early in spring, and the path is easy going. You know what?
Chicken butt.
Let's see if anything fun happens
Oh no.
on your way through.
path is easy going, he says.
path is easygoing, but you ran into 500 hippogriffs.
You ran into
Hippo
a
ships.
Trask. Campaign's over.
Nah, we can
Time
take
for
a
that
Trask.
TPK. Time for the
Nah.
TPK. Let's go. All we gotta do is put the Trask to sleep. Come
If
on.
we had enough acid, we could.
No. You see, all we need is somebody who has a spell fly and somebody who can shoot arrows.
You'll have to give Bubs a few levels before I can do one of those two things.
Because the Tarask has no regeneration in 5th edition.
Bubs can fly,
Eventually, he
Natural
will be
20s
able to.
always hit.
That's
but
not even a
Bubs will
joke. He
never
will
be able to shoot arrows. Actually, wait, he can.
No, with that attitude.
Actually, wait, I realize he can.
Just cast hail of arrows
Bubs
from
can
Bubs.
Yeah.
He is my spellcasting focus.
Yeah. As your Atrigard is on, I forget. It's like a plateau. I want to say it's what is the name of that like geographical feature?
Peninsula?
No, Florida's a peninsula. It's
Yes. If it's a port city, a plateau does not make any sense.
It's a two-part city. The main city is up on a big stone plateau with fjords. Is fjords the correct word I'm thinking of?
Fords.
Fjords?
Fords.
No, not a fjord.
Field?
It's like it's an uphill all stone formation on the edge of everything, and going down into the water is either vertical or inward. And I can't remember the exact word for this. I think that might be a fjord, but I think fjords require lake or rivers.
Ford is made with a glacier.
Okay, then this is not a fjord. Regardless, it is a giant stone thing that the way like it goes up and it's uphill and the city's built downward along it, and the dock part is where the stone actually meets like the ground again, and you see boats coming in and then wagons going up. And as you're getting to an hour away from the city, you see a man dressed all in red dumping bodies into a grave.
Oh no.
So
3 days of travel. We don't run into anything. That's pretty good.
Just a man dumping corpses now.
He waves at the wagon as you start to draw near, and then continues back to what he was doing.
Sometimes if you just wave politely to people as they pass, they don't talk about your crimes. They just assume you're just doing your job. They don't question it.
Sure.
If that
Really don't.
Sark is going to be perched on top of the wagon and staring him down, but like with a blank expression, so he can't understand what that cat's thinking, just knowing that the cat is staring deeply into his soul.
he looks like
The
a kind
cat
of
is judging.
he looks back at you like someone who has owned a cat all his life and knows exactly what that look is.
Oh no.
And it's just and he just nods at you, waves again, and then sets fire to the pile of bodies in the hole, then starts burying it.
So do we want to stop and ask, or are we gonna just?
What kind of answer is
None
that?
of that was an answer. I don't know what that was.
I don't know. Does anyone else see this? I'm
Oh, yeah,
assuming
everybody
yes.
can see it either through the windows or like sitting
I
up
mean, the giant
where the
body
horses
of
are.
pile of bodies on fire kind of draws attention.
It's like a dozen bodies. It's not a giant pile.
That's a large pile of bodies.
Also, they're in a hole. So
yeah,
really, it
but
kind of evens out.
Why is there a mass grave happening, and why do they need to be burned? That seems problematic.
You want to ask? Or are you just going to drive on by?
Question
Clark has
grave.
burning questions, okay?
Like,
Clark
Like-
might need to go to a doctor about that
like
burning.
who's in control and is willing to stop the wagon for this?
I'm not in control of the wagon.
I guess
I'm
I'm in
just chilling.
control because Bubs is tethered to it.
Yeah.
We stopping? Is that what's...
Are we?
No, let's
Sorry.
stretch our legs. I'm gonna stop.
Okay.
Very least we can get some air.
You,
Who else is
you
asleep?
stop near the man, and he's still just slowly putting dirt into the pile as it's on fire.
Go get him, Sark. He's just stretching.
Stealth. You're stealthing up to
Stealthily
him.
approaching.
All right.
Stealthing up to him.
He does not notice you, and he's just humming quietly to himself.
Excellent.
I
I'm going to
sneeze.
slightly lean forward. and
I
then just go.
sneeze.
He heard the cart stop, so but he just doesn't hear like people coming up to him. So he's like, he knows you stopped, but nobody's like poked him or said anything. Just made a noise, so he's just focusing.
Yeah. Sark is going to stealthily saunter up real close, lean slightly forward, like over his shoulder, and ask him, "What you got there?"
He's gonna shit himself.
A smoothie.
A smoothie? That's not how smoothies are made.
It's
Yeah.
a chocolate smoothie.
He blinks, tilts his head, pats you on the head, goes back to digging. Some bodies that needed burying.
Why do they need to be buried? I would ask if I was awake.
I would ask if I was awake. Like, so gross.
So Sark is going to obviously look
Such
slightly
gremlins.
at him head. But the interrogation shall continue, and Sark is going to inquire as to why on earth do you have so many?
Oh, there was a bit of sickness down in the poorhouse, and since there's no unified religion up in H-Regard, they're sent to our church, and we take them out here, and we're burning them just in case it's something bad, you know.
Ugh.
We're
Wouldn't the bad go into the air?
Oh, it's holy fire. I'm pretty sure it would stop that.
How sure?
You're not there.
Huh.
I know.
You're
So-
not awake.
I'm not.
Like, does Sark have the slightest idea what religion red-clad man would be a part of?
Do you have knowledge religion?
Are you
I don't know.
proficient in religion?
Is there a
Probably
religion? Is there
no.
religion skill?
No.
Yeah,
Click-
there is.
Is it a wisdom or intelligence?
It's intelligence.
Intelligence.
Then give me an intelligence roll.
Listen, I clicked it. Why isn't it doing the thing?
I don't know.
See how many brain cells Sark has.
Oh.
Quite a few.
Oh,
Oh, none.
We'll go with the first one.
it lagged.
Oh, and
Still not many.
a spark of brain. No.
Spark of brain.
You know that it essentially churches are assigned over poorhouses or orphanages in Satch's case, and they're given designation to take care of stuff and whatnot. And the Church of Aurelia is also here, and depending on the district you're in or whatever, they'll take care of you. And these people died, and it's a thing where they cremate the corpses in holy fire and then bury what's left after it burns. So this is not unnormal, but it's a little weird to have. There's like 12 of them.
Does he seem suspicious?
Not at all. In fact, he seems like the oddliest jolly fellow you've ever met. And it's very concerning, the jolliness of this bald man, all dressed in red, setting fire to corpses and then burying them, with just how nice he seems. It's very jarring.
So what you're saying is he is suspicious.
It's suspicious purely because there's nothing wrong with it. Like, you're not getting any weird vibes, but it's such a weird...
I'm not getting weird vibes from an Undertaker who's taking his job too happily, too seriously.
Yeah, he's just doing his job, and he's, like, happy to be around and doing it.
So he is suspicious.
Could be. That's up to your preconception. Like, do you trust your gut in saying, oh, he's fine, he's just weirdly into his job, or are you going to overthink it?
The last time we trusted something, it went horribly wrong.
Yeah, just same answer. He's just a priest who seems to be really into his job, and he's like, people got sick, they all died, it sucks. I'm out here doing a thing.
People die, it sucks. Yeah, I get it. I feel you, bro.
In fact, with the Sark's perception, you can see that there's a bag of seeds and manure next to the man's horse and cart that he brought the bodies here. And there are various big flower fields throughout the area. So putting one and one together, this is pretty normal occurrence occasionally.
Does anyone want to check the area for those spirits things? He said it was an illness. He didn't specify what kind of illness.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that.
Okay.
I don't have the glasses, so I can't do it.
Yeah, I'm the only one with them.
Ferris is the only one that has the glasses.
Yeah.
Because I'm the one who.
Ferris has the vibe check. Ferris has the vibe check.
Yeah. The official vibe check.
So you flick your goggles down and give
Yep.
him a look.
What do I see?
It's a very jolly, welcoming feeling person. It is as straightforward as it seems, apparently.
But what about the bodies?
Yeah, I was gonna say the rest of the area though.
The bodies, they're just... Huh. How does that work with corpses? That's a good question.
Wouldn't they just potentially
work
not
with
register
corpses?
unless they were haunted or undead?
How does that work with corpses?
Yeah, that's like... there's nothing weird about them. It doesn't give off any aura or energy off any of the bodies. They're just kind of there. Whatever this detects, either it isn't coming off them, or, oh god, the room, it's vibrating! The earth!
Matri turned on the vibration setting.
Matri, why are you so excited about all these corpses?
But yeah,
Sorry, it's
no,
literally just thunder.
it's okay. It was just
Oh
fun.
shit! Oh
I hope everything's okay.
yeah.
Oh yeah, no, it's fine.
All right. Yeah, he's just. There's nothing weird here. I mean, it's weird, but you've not found anything exceptionally awful about it.
I'm going to ask him, so is it always the same illness?
For most of them, I think one of them was just very old, and honestly, we were waiting for her to die anyway. She was very, very old. The others, it was all the same thing. If they got hurt, they would bleed a lot, and then they would get a fever and eventually just not really wake up.
How long has this been going on?
Oh, it comes around every so often around here. We're not sure why. Happens once a year, a sickness comes in, almost like a yearly cold. We don't usually lose many, but this time it hit in the middle of spring when the letting was happening.
Letting?
Do you say that out loud?
Yes.
The letting? Yes. Oh, right. Are any of you from here?
Absolutely not. Do I
Points
look like I come from
Matri.
here?
Is Matri in the caravan or outside?
I believe Matru would be in the caravan.
Then
Point at the
unless
caravan and say
Yeah.
one in there.
But I would know this after speaking with Matri. I'd say Matri is.
Matri. Well then Matri would know. If you don't want to hear it from me, you can always ask them. Sure, they can explain it better than I can. They're from here. I just came here because we needed a new priest in the area for our little side of things. Intrigard doesn't have a unified religion, so they have churches dotted around.
But we are proudly the belly button of this planet.
Yes.
Because we are the most naval
Dare
community.
you?
I'm burning this game to the ground. You know what? I am going
Can someone unplug Matri? Can we find the charging station for Matri and cut the cord?
I am so angry. I'm checking Pokemon Go.
Pokemon. You have Pokemon Go?
Oh yes, I'll send you my thing. Wow.
Etrigard is infamous for having for being a melting pot of sorts. So no, there is not one unified religion. However, many of the religions might stress otherwise.
Our DM checks Pokemon Go. I whip this up.
Pokemon Go. That's smooth. Oh my god, I love it.
I love that.
I used to make memes all the time for my other group. I had to do it at least once for this one.
Come here, Night. Come here, buddy. Dear
Smoothie.
Jerry. Don't fall asleep.
Yara is
Uh-oh.
getting really, really, really in character.
It's time for a grandma nap.
Apologies, I didn't sleep very well last night.
No, you're fine.
But yeah,
It's in character.
he suggests you ask your friend about it, and then just continues. You know, he's done putting dirt on everything, so now he's mixing the bag of manure with what's left, and then pouring that over it. And you can, weirdly enough, the fire's still going, and you can see it kind of burning under the dirt.
Wonder what kind of ecological problems that'll have.
He probably knows all your questioning. I said, "Oh, don't worry, it goes out in an hour. Just it's magic, so it keeps burning for just that amount of time. I don't make it
Whoa, whoa, it's magic,
another hydrate."
you know.
It's not showing up that they're going through on mine.
They
My
are.
end. Okay. I didn't mean to double blast you with hydrate.
Yes, you did. Don't lie to me.
No, like even my like counter, like how many token things I have didn't go down on my end.
Weird. Then you
Yeah.
got a free
I
hydrate.
refreshed and then it did.
Oh, okay. You didn't get a free one. Good. My Cromer. Anyway, thank you.
Now this is intentional.
Oh dear God.
Nice and hydrated. Anyway, he just kind of continues humming to himself. Humming. He keeps just kind of humming to himself as he's like, "You should probably ask your friend. I'm new here. Well, relatively new."
Okay.
Sark is going to beeline it for Matri to interrogate him about what in the hell is happening.
There is a slat. Not really a slat. It's like a little window on the back wall of the inside of the little house apartment thing in the carriage that shows Ferris, but it's at eye level to an average person, so it's really confusing spatially. So Ferris, if does want to just keep going, can hear everything. But if you go up to Matri and ask, because I should really talk to you more about this, but I got this idea, so I want to. We're doing it anyway. So I thought Matri would explain if they knew. The letting is every spring to bring about the harvest in the summer and whatnot, and to it's a rite of thanking your ancestors, along with, wanting a better harvest. It's a bunch of little things merged into one, where every adult goes and collects their own blood in a jar, and then the jars are placed in a tomb, and it's not required for everyone to do it, but the blood is collected, and then at every spring it disappears and they do it again. Collected in a tomb with the founders of the city's names, and every generation they add in the most important people to the city to it as well.
So it's like a time capsule of blood?
Well, the blood always disappears, is the weird thing. But people always just assume it's some kind of, ancient ritual magic that just kind of works.
Sounds like mosquito propaganda to me.
I was gonna say.
All right, listen here, Moth Woman. You're biased.
Couldn't get
So we head
a
into
moth
the
wife.
city proper and
Sounds like a plan to me.
Yeah,
on
we're
our
gonna have to
way.
go there, no matter what.
On the way. Yeah, it's the city continually goes up, and all the buildings are very Gothic architecture-y. But the weird thing is, all the roofs, as the city goes up, there's almost like a collective building alignment where anytime it's especially obvious when it rains, but water will always go down the buildings. It will never touch the ground. It will just continue out, and then you can still see, as far as you know, it hasn't rained in a couple days. You can still see like water from essentially big gutters on the edges of the city going into the ocean.
Hmm. That's cool.
Yes. And as you go in, there's a central road up the city. And coming in, they're checking they're checking every like caravan that comes in. If it's just some dude, they just be like, "Why are you here? Don't do any. If you haven't been here before, don't do anything weird." And they stop you and they ask Ferris, who's the only one they can see, "What are you here for?" A human does.
Just
A
so
human.
the party and I are on the same page. We're here so we can. I'm not saying this to the person.
Yeah.
We're here.
We're
so we
here
can
to
grab a
secure
boat
passage.
and head to Telbury. Correct. Is that?
That is correct. Our goal is to get a boat to get to Telbury.
That's what I'm gonna say to the guard. I'm gonna say, what time is it? Good afternoon, or is it the afternoon?
Yeah, it's the afternoon when you're here. And he nods.
Afternoon.
Good time of day, sir.
We're here to pass through here to Telbury, grab a boat.
All the boats out of town are, well, they're not. You'll see. Just head inside, go to the local inn. It's late enough in the day. They'll explain it. You'll see the notices. And he lets you in.
Wouldn't
Doesn't even question the Drake. Okay. Doesn't even question
oddly
Bubs
enough,
in the front.
Oddly enough, Bubs in the cart behind you that is pulled up as you were talking is led by two weird rhino creatures. So
I was gonna make the joke that Bubs walks away. That's a weird looking horse.
it's like these horses.
whose horse is that?
These horses are getting
Yeah.
weird by the day.
You're not wrong. He as you're going and he sees the rhinos, he looks back at Bubs. These horses. Does no one just own a horse anymore? What happened to horses?
I'm going to open up that little slat in the side and just kind of say, potential problem, according to the guard. The boats are allegedly out of commission. All of them. Out of town. All of them.
That's suspicious.
He said we'd see the notices,
That's
whatever that means.
weird.
Thank you. Well, I guess we're gonna have to start looking for those notices.
You spot them very quickly. Just about every street corner or every street has like at least two before it, every block or so has 2 notices. And it says that due to recent issues with troublemakers during the letting, no unauthorized travel will be allowed.
Dwight?
I don't want to be presumptuous, but I feel like with Matri, we might be able to pull some strings and not have to listen to that.
Listen.
I'm just glad you figured that out right away. I was genuinely worried.
Oh, I've been known that like we're definitely gonna fucking we gotta get Matri to Master's house. Go
Master,
above the bureaucracy. we need to get passage and we need to get Matri a sock so they can be free.
Oh my god.
Master
Or
is such a weird word.
I know.
I have
Matri a Glock.
colleagues.
Master Trades is giving Matri a cock.
I was gonna say a Glock, but
Already has that. That is an
Well,
option.
yeah.
wait, what do you mean that's an option?
Getting Matri.
Giving Matri a cock is an option.
That is, sure. Like I said, you're in the main game. You're free to do whatever the hell you want.
This is some long, slow burn character creation.
see, as the rogue, I don't need nobody's permission to steal Matri.
Fair.
Matri, where did you used to reside?
I suppose my primary residence was the laboratory of Sam Smythe.
Would it make sense to head there to try and find some way around this travel ban?
It would be possible. Please tell me about Sam while you're going.
Sam, well, he was the one who I first awoke to. As far as I am to understand, he is what humans would call a prodigy. He is quite young for how intelligent a being he is. But I don't know.
Sam Smythe is all of that is correct, and he is a minor lord in the area. So to get to him, you'll have to go to the hoity-toity part of town and ask a guard somewhere to let you in. Because once you get up to that point, it's the big castle where the family Atreides lives.
We need to ask, or do we just kind of
Shouldn't be a
push
problem.
Matri towards them?
Either or.
It depends on whether or not you want to have, as you say, Zatch, an adventure, or if you'd like to take the easy way.
Who knows? It could still be an adventure.
Also true.
I mean, we either solve the problem that the troublemakers are doing, which I'm fine with doing, or we leave it and go.
Maybe.
Listen, are we sure that the troublemakers are the real troublemakers, or is it the town? And it's vampires mad that people aren't giving up their blood.
It's a vampire.
The real
Oh,
troublemakers
well,
were
yeah.
the friends we made along the way.
What are you talking about? Angola is not trouble at all.
Also, we haven't even asked how to get authorization. It says no unauthorized travel is permitted. But we could get
Yeah, we have a
authorization.
golden goose for authorization with Matri. Matri was sent as an emissary of Etrigard. That means,
Yes,
like,
I am known.
they have some standing in this town to be able to grant authorization, whether through whatever means.
I'm not saying I don't possess that ability myself, but I can certainly make a plea.
Yes, like your connections are more what I was alluding to, rather than
Yes.
you yourself. Maybe an orphanage kid, but I know how people work.
I don't.
I thought Inglewill was questioning whether Zach understood people for a second.
People are enigmas to me. Kobolds are easy.
Did you just imply that kobolds are people?
What?
I think Sark is struggling with the fact that you just said kobolds aren't people.
I mean,
Yeah.
technically
they're
they
not
aren't
human.
humans.
So only humans are. I got you.
Yeah,
mean,
you
we're in a
fucking
human
cat.
town, and we're talking about humans, so people was in reference to the humans, yes. Because a kobold would be a kin, not a person.
I love our party's collective brain cells.
Kobolds are kin. Kin and
Yes.
Pearson is not the same thing.
I like to believe this argument is going on while Matri is like
Yep.
pointing Ferris where to go.
I'm okay with this.
Yeah.
We're all along for the ride.
And Zatch is just
Figuring.
like awkwardly sitting there because it's like, fuck, I don't want to say the wrong thing.
I mean, you are in my town now, so yes, you are indeed along for the ride.
Yes.
Don't threaten us with a good time.
But as they say, let us not be the lint in this belly button.
I don't think I've heard anybody say that. You can't say as they say and then say something that nobody actually says.
Left.
I think I did. I left spiritually.
It was really for a second to catch my breath after
This
that.
horse is whack.
Source. Wow. You go through the city and everything is built very wide. Like there's 2 lanes of traffic down every road for like carts and whatnot. But everyone in this city is exceptionally pale. You notice because all of the roofs are like combined to there's no light. No light gets into this city. So there are lamps everywhere.
Is there a clock tower?
Sorry.
No, but there are clocks pretty much in every square. There's like a tall clock in the center of every area.
Okay.
And as you go up and up and up, everything continues to get bigger, get taller. Mind you, all of the bits that have like plant life, like there are little parks and there are places for trees to grow. They seem to be growing just fine with no light. And once you get up to a certain point, the roads thin up a little, and the buildings get bigger, and there's big courtyards full of like, it's the noble area. There's there's walls around the places with the fancy fences and big gates, guards stationed here and there depending on just how fancy the place is or who can afford what. And you eventually you have to go pretty far to the edge of this area into a kind of rundown, but not. It's as rundown as a rich, fancy place can be. It looks like it's not neglected, but it's not kept up as it should. And there's only one guard out, and he's sitting in like a little booth drinking.
Hello.
Hello. What do you want?
Who's Sam Smythe? We're looking for his lab.
Hmm. You're looking for the boy. Who's asking?
Matri.
I am.
Ew. He kind of puts the bottle down quickly and sits up and like keeps his shoulders straight and goes, the young master's project. I'll go tell him you're here. And he runs in.
He's drinking ye old Mike's Hard Lemonade.
He runs in, and you're kind of left out there for a few minutes.
I believe he mispronounced the word protege.
I believe he did as well, Matri. I believe he did.
And,
Yeah, I was going to say that Sark snorted at that.
the gates begin to
Nice.
open, and ahead of you runs up a young man, probably like somewhere between 10 and 12 to everybody. And he just literally jumps into Matri's arms. Matri,
Hello, young master.
you're back. What? Why?
We require passage across the ocean.
Why?
So naturally, we came to Etrigard. Because Etrigard is the belly button of the world.
Hey,
No one has said
you're gonna
that.
force this to being the actual phrase.
No one has said that for thousands of years.
Thousands.
Yes,
Right.
but it is the naval capital of the world. This is a pun.
Yes,
Do humans not enjoy puns?
This one doesn't.
You're very
Andrew
silly.
says, not Zatch.
I'm glad you're still very silly, Matri. Come inside. There's a lot that's happened
Yes,
in the last couple
absolutely.
weeks.
And I just carry him inside.
Yes. Any
I'll
points?
follow.
You go in, you know the way to the lab. It's in to the right, and there's just a big door into a big room with a bunch of machinery. It looks like a mad scientist's lab, and in the center of it is like it's like if someone was trying to describe Matri to someone else, and that person's like brain image of it goes, I've been trying to see if I can make another one of you since, well, the ones we found won't wake up.
Found?
Oh, yes. Under the city, there's a whole underground area with... It's where we found him to begin with. Found them to begin with.
Hmm.
Yes, Etrigard has apparently a very long history.
Yes.
Sark is getting more and more weirded out every waking moment.
He jumps out of Matri's arms and goes up to him and goes up to the replica is the best word for it. Just goes, I haven't been able to even get it to talk. They just, I don't know, it's not as much of a person as you are.
Couldn't you just ask Matri to build his children?
Children?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
yes. May I present? This is Aurum, of my own creation. A bit small, but very mighty.
He picks up Aurum and looks him over and goes, oh my, how did you do this?
I created a
Acquired
golden heart,
capital.
and that's just sort of I acquired capital. I
The
created
construct loves
a
themselves.
golden heart, infused it with magic, and built the body around it.
Does he talk?
He can translate, but he cannot talk.
Huh.
He translates dinosaur.
I'll showcase that by starting to speak in Orcish.
You'll speak in Orcish, and then after
And I will translate.
yes, it will.
Actually, no, I won't even translate. I'll just answer or respond as I would in common.
Yes, and then it'll come out of Aurum as well, and it's my. Oh, you're going to have to show me what you did when you have time, but you need transportation. Why?
Is it okay to show?
Sure. I don't see why not.
I'll take off.
His eyes widen, and he just runs up to you and grabs you by the hand and starts like looking you over and goes, what is this? I've never seen anything like this. What did this?
We need passage to the dragons because they know about this and they can help fix me.
The dragons? They're past Tailbury as far as the old family stories go. He
We have a general idea of their location.
He lets go of your arm and kind of looks down and goes, sadly, I don't know if I can help. Things have happened the last couple of weeks.
We saw the signs about troublemakers with the letting.
The letting, yes. People have been doing what they do. We let everyone have a good long few months to gather up, and so no one hurts themselves or gets sick from doing everything too fast. And people have been going into the crypt and just smashing the jars, and it's important to the city. He kind of stammers for a moment and goes, I don't really understand why, but well, I understand why. It's a religious thing, or well, not religious, pseudo-religious. And he kind of starts yammering for a second, and he's just getting into the minutia of like it's more of a local custom that evolved from this and whatnot. And then he catches himself and goes, and it's just apparently the house Atreides is very upset about it, and I don't really know why. And my uncle was put in charge of taking care of it and figuring it out, and he's not doing a good job. So they're threatening to put... Do you remember the fellow that, when we first found you, said we should dismantle you and experiment on you?
Immediately, Sark is in a.
Yes. Yes, I do.
They're threatening
He
to put...
deserved what he got.
Here's the thing. There were two people doing that. He was just the one that could actually get in trouble. The other one is about to be put in charge of things if my uncle doesn't figure it out.
Interesting.
And he's... how do I put this? He's not with the family Atreides, but he's apparently grown some
He's
important...
not with them.
Yes, he's grown some importance that makes it hard to argue. And obviously, due to my research and finding Matri and being about the only one who even vaguely understands all of this, to a degree, they can't try to do anything to my family that's too bad. Well, my uncle and I, we don't have anyone else. But, but it still isn't exactly pleasant, you know? We've lost a lot of money from the city and from the families. That's why we only have the one guard and things are a little disheveled. He kind of looks down, a little ashamed. Mind you, this room is a mess. It's a nightmare mess. But he's like ashamed of the fact that the outside is getting a bit not taken care of.
Yeah.
Slightly scraggly.
And I could try to get you across, but it would be hard and a bit bothersome, but it wouldn't be that big a deal. But if you could help us, I would also very much appreciate that. I don't know what to do, and Uncle doesn't talk to me, and...
Montre?
Where's your uncle now?
That is quite a conundrum.
He's talking with the fellow that I mentioned right now in his office.
Here.
Yes, it's the other side of the building. I've kind of claimed this side, and, well, it's not the entire other side. It's the third door on the left, as opposed to this, which you look up
That
and
makes eye contact with Sark.
you look up and you notice that the room you're in, there are several bits of walls that have come down, still clinging to the top where you can't really get to. This was many rooms before he had his
Way with it.
Yes.
With the
What was
information
it?
about where the uncle is and who he's talking to, I'm going to make eye contact with Sark, hoping Sark
Oh, Sark.
understands.
I'm going...
What was it
Absolutely.
you said to me that one time? Something about people are not pawns to be played with.
Exactly.
I think that about summarizes my thoughts on the matter. If there are people who believe that some others are merely pawns, we should rectify that situation.
You are correct. And the 13 stealth, I will be right back, and I will answer that question. I have to pee.
Oh, okay.
So we're all in agreement. It's starting to sound like vampires.
Vampire mosquitoes, I knew it.
Couldn't get a moth wife. I gotta get a mosquito wife. What? I will be right back. I gotta go grab a drink.
I've been muted this entire time.
Oh no.
Oh. Well, I'm gonna do something before you leave. So,
Mm.
but Dakota said I has to wait until he's back. So we shall wait.
I have returned.
Welcome back. I'm gonna be casting a spell on you before you leave. So
Excuse me. Welcome back. I'm hexing you. What?
I did not
Buffing
say.
you. Buffing you.
I get the feeling I know where this is going.
Or do you? Do
I-
you
I-
really?
I might. I'm not saying that with certainty, but I might.
And what do you think I'm gonna do then, huh? If you're so smart.
Cast Fairy Fire on Sark so that you can see when he's sneaking off or going to steal something.
Why would I do that? He's trying to sneak away to spy on people.
That's exactly
I
what
meant for
Sark's
your
doing.
own benefit, so we all know where Sark just slinks off to.
But that would
problem-
alert him to everybody else.
I thought it was just personal visibility. I thought it was only visible to
Fairy
people.
fire puts
Just
a
your party
glowing
members.
purple dust on everything and gives on everything in an area and gives everyone advantage to seeing them, spotting them, and they cannot turn invisible. And they
Remember
get
that-
advantage on attacking them.
Remember, that's
Hello.
why the kobolds were freaking out because he put
Coming at me
fairy
with a
fire
lot
on
of
them.
energy that I don't appreciate, Inglewood.
All right, we're back. What are we
Okay.
doing?
So seeing Sark like quietly like starting to walk back, Inglewood just kind of slides up to Sark.
Slapped him on the ass. Sorry, continue.
Sark is going to slightly jump because he was not expecting someone.
I said that. It's
Call
not
him
just
out.
that.
What you doing?
I've got places to be and things to hear.
Is that
Why?
so? Well, I just want you to stay safe, you silly goose. She says as she reaches up and boops Sark on the nose and casts invisibility on them.
Of course, Sark is not going to realize that Sark has been made invisible.
Oh my God, Sark is just completely oblivious to the world.
So booping Sark on the nose is absolutely going to cause the nose twitching.
I wouldn't know. I can't see
Which
it now.
we can't see.
Which is perfect because he gets to be a cute kitty and no one can see it. But on that note, Sark is just going to. It's not realizing he's invisible. He's just going to kind of like nod or whatever at Ingo will, and then is absolutely darting off throughout all of the shadows because, of course, he doesn't know
All
he's
right,
invisible.
please remind me what statistically invisibility does.
It gives them advantage on stealth rolls. Anyone attempting to attack them gets disadvantage. Anyone attempting to spot them gets disadvantage. But hearing, if they're listening for them, they don't get disadvantage. It's just physically trying to spot them.
All right, reroll your stealth.
Okay.
Okay, you
23.
easily slip out the workshop.
It lasts for an hour, by the way.
He is just the boy is just dragging Matri around the workshop, showing all the little tinkers and gadgets he's made in the last 2 weeks, which is a lot of them. And you slink down the hallway, and you get to the... What door do you go into?
Oh, Sark is just following the instructions the boy gave for where the office was so he can eavesdrop.
Does Sark
He
remember
was
that?
third on the left.
Listen, IRL.
Roll history.
I'll give, as long as someone remembers what I said, I'll give that to him. Okay. The third
I think
door
it was
on the
third
left
on the left.
is a very nice, heavy, ornate wooden door. Roll stealth one more time. You silently open it up. Do you peek in or go in?
I am absolutely going to be looking before I'm leaping.
Okay. Inside, you see a very tall... You see a man sitting behind the desk looking haggard. He looks pretty much like the kid, but much older, and like he hasn't slept in a week. And in front of the desk is a... Roll perception.
Perception.
It is a very tall rabbit person, stark white, wearing stark white clothes, staring at the old man.
If this is a Monty Python skit.
And you hear the haggard looking fellow just go, I promise. I promise it'll get done as soon as I can. I've got a lead. I just need time to figure it out. Send the boys through. We'll figure out who did this, and there'll be no problems for the High family. You don't need to worry or freak out. And the rabbit, its hands are behind its back enclosed, just goes, I certainly hope so. I would hate for something uncouth to happen, should you not. I expect answers by the end of the week, and if I don't get them, I'll do it myself. And perhaps I'll clean up this mansion a bit while I'm at it. Your family is getting a little stale. There are only two of you left. And you can see him grimace at that and just shake his head. It's like, I'll do it. I'll do it. And the rabbit nods and says, "Then I believe I'll be going." And he starts to turn toward the door.
Which is exactly when Sark is going to hide. Because Sark still doesn't realize that they're invisible.
And the door will open and the rabbit will come out. And
I'm sorry, I was wrong. They don't get disadvantage on site-based things. According to the rule, and I looked it up, they are considered blinded and automatically fail visual checks against the person and have disadvantage on attempting to attack them because they cannot discern where they are.
okay. Well, regardless, as they leave the door, he turns to look to the right and to the left, and you swear he's staring right at you. And he just has bright red eyes. And then he just turns on his heel to the right, goes, and then leaves.
How bizarre. Is there anything, like, specifically, like, distinctive about this rabbit person? Aside from being a Snow White bunny with red eyes?
He's the only rabbit person you've ever seen. And he looked thin. And, like, his clothes fit very tightly to him. And you expect a rabbit person to be a bit more fluffy, even with their clothes on. So you can tell he's very thin.
Mm. And what's the other man doing now that the rabbit is leaving?
He is also leaving, but he is pulling on a coat very distractedly. He goes out the door. You see him rub his face and just go, okay, I'm gonna go. And he just starts heading off toward the workshop.
Okay, well, since everyone has left me alone in this room, Sark is absolutely looking for anything and everything they can possibly imagine might be of use.
Roll
Wow.
perception again.
Again,
This
I don't think I
time,
can roll as well as I
this
did.
time you're checking the room rather than just what you notice.
Yeah, I noticed. Like, absolutely fuck.
I'll give you. You're going to be taking your time, I assume. So I'll give you
Yeah.
advantage. You find a fancy stack of seemingly gold playing cards, a silver pipe, and like 30 gold just kind of sitting around on the table in change.
Thing for the taking, but I'm supposed to be helping. Hold on. I know how to do this.
Oh, fuck. Go, baby. Be a good girl. You just sit here.
I am going to investigate the car.
They are gold inlaid, seemingly tarot cards as you look through them.
Oh no.
No.
Stop. Sark. Sark, for the love of God.
You speak of me.
Don't do this.
Shut up. Why? Why?
Interesting.
Don't do this to us.
But
The tarot card deck. What's wrong with the tarot card deck?
Don't you act like you don't know.
Matri reaches out and draws a card.
Machi
She's not even there.
She's not there.
In spirit.
good spirit.
You see a spectral hand, reach forward and draw a card from the deck.
I play Pot of Greed.
Oh my god.
You've activated my trap card.
I've activated your what?
Trap card.
Trap card.
Which allows me to play Pot of Greed. Allowing me to draw additional cards from my deck.
Which are all pot of greed.
No, some of those are jars of greed.
Exactly. So
Which allow me
you
to draw a Pot of Greed.
taking the fancy gold cards?
I'm gonna pocket them because Sark would not know anything about them and would just want to own them.
Okay.
And then Sark will make their way back to everybody else. Since there's nothing else important.
All right. Yeah. So you just took the cards, not the pipe or the gold.
That is correct. Sark was willing to
Art showing
obtain.
restraint.
Yes.
All right.
Well, when a giant rabbit man threatens to take over the mansion and points out how many people are lacking in your family, gonna steal from the poor geniuses we're supposed to be helping.
In the workshop, the uncle comes in and in the middle of showing Matri what looks like a handheld potato cannon that fires apples instead. He sets it down and runs over and goes, Uncle, Matri came back. They need help. And he just kind of shakes his head and goes, don't we all? It's good to have you back.
Thank you.
He's missed
We
you, dear.
require passage across the ocean.
Oh. You and a lot of other people.
Yes. But our matter is more important than other people.
I'm sure. Honestly, I am 100% sure, but the only people leaving and going are, well, people who either bribe any of the higher families or people who are in them. Suppose you could try bribing one if you like.
So what's got everybody locked down?
Direct connection to the Atreides. How are we not?
They...
Is there not some sort of, what is the term you humans use? Bureaucracy?
Yes.
Called shocking grasp.
The
shocking grasp.
The family is currently embroiled in issues with the letting for reasons that are important to the city, obviously, and I am trying to fix the problem with our ne'er-do-wells, and I'm being pushed out of importance by someone new. That they've, well, new. I've found out that they've been here for 3 years now, but of course, we weren't important enough to know that. And he starts grumbling for a second. Despite everything, what last push we had with the higher ups, we apparently had to use to keep you from being turned into scrap.
Why?
I haven't the foggiest. I don't actually understand it. I don't know why it was such a big deal. I just had to use everything we had in terms of favors, and I even had to deal with a blood oath from one family.
Mm.
I mean, not speaking too harshly against you, you're a marvel, and I don't understand. Well, not too harshly, but harshly of them. You're a marvel. You're the first. What did you prefer to be called again? I apologize. It's been a bit. Machine? Being?
Certainly.
Being of your nature that we found, and rather than working with you and doing things like little Sam here has been. Sam, right? I'm not crazy.
You could simply call me what I now am.
And what is that exactly?
That is, and Matri activates their armor sequence. The magically armored, sailor outfitted guardian antihero, or Mas-O-Ga.
Did you really just do that in front of them?
You and Sam. He is just freaking out. He loves it. He jumps into your arms again, and the uncle's just like, perhaps you're much younger than your actual existence perceives. That's
Listen, Sark did not miss the fact that the uncle just questioned their own nephew's name.
No, that was me. That was me.
Oh, okay.
As a player, as the DM, because I have no memory.
No, that
That's
was
fair.
in character.
That's fair.
That was in character.
And he just sighs and goes, you make him happy, whatever. And he's been trying to make another one of you. I see he's shown you. But the only way we could get them to not scrap you was to send you on this to get rid of a bunch of favors they owe to Oregon.
Sark, still being unaware that they are invisible, is just going to scoff and kind of laugh and be like, if they tried to scrap Matri, they'd be scrapped themselves.
Kind of looks around and looks at each one of you in turn and goes, I glad you've met such loyal compatriots there. It sounds like you've at least done a fair bit of work. Sark knocks over something. He turns again.
Intentionally.
I'm not telling her. Inga will find this too amusing. She's not going to say anything.
I could try to get a meeting with. I hate that rabbit. I could try to get you a meeting with him, and maybe he'll just let you go.
Well, what is causing the travel ban? What can we just fix whatever is causing the travel ban?
If you can find whatever group of ne'er-do-wells is affecting the letting, we can't exactly. It's important enough that the family won't let anyone leave until it's been dealt with. That includes many angry traders, and it's...
Okay, are these ne'er-do-wells constantly going to the same place over and over and over again? How's it working?
Yes, and we're not sure. All the blood for the letting is always brought to the center of the city, and it's put on the walls of the crypt, I suppose it is, technically. It's where the founders are buried. And I couldn't tell you where the blood goes once everything is said and done, but it disappears and we do it all again the next year. And no matter how many guards we place, unless we put them down in there, which no one wants to be down there. Not even our toughest guards are. Something about that damned tomb terrifies people who just walking into it.
So in other words, we have to go down to the tomb.
If you'd like. But we've had people wait down there for a few hours. Trade shifts somehow in between the moments that people are moving. Everything gets destroyed again. So we've just stopped people from even putting their blood in yet.
Well, if you have giant rabbit people, why don't you just put a giant chicken on top of the blood?
What the fuck?
What?
That's actually what he says. What the fuck? What? He turns and looks at all of you and goes, how do you know who he is?
You just said you didn't want to deal with the rabbit. If you have rabbit people, where are your chicken people?
What does chickens and rabbits have to do
Inga
with
was
each
just
other?
gonna pull out a water skin and just sip it, listening to this conversation. Still not saying anything about the fact that Sark is invisible.
What do rabbits have to do that, and who is saying that?
What do you mean, who's saying that? I'm right here. Stark's going to just wave his hands in front of his own face and slowly realize they can't see their own hands.
Can I have the nail clippers, dude? He just rubs his eyes and goes, I don't want... That rabbit is a nightmare. I do not know what he wants. I don't know why he's here, but he's apparently got the Atreides' ear and has their full attention. That's why I don't want to deal with him. And I don't know what chickens have to do with rabbits.
Well, if you put a chicken on top of the donated blood, it could just sit on it like they're eggs, and then nothing could possibly destroy them because it won't move.
Only I knew how to cast silence.
I believe they could just kill the chicken.
Mm-hmm.
That would leave what?
Get a goose.
Oh, you know,
They-
give the goose a knife. Eh?
They leave plenty of evidence. There's blood everywhere at the end. They don't take it with them, they destroy it then and there.
Is any of it missing?
Sark is still examining their invisible hands.
As far as we can tell, it's all smashed. Nothing is just missing. Obviously, we can't exactly check every drop of blood that seeps into the stone, but it seems enough.
Well, it seems like we could at least try to figure out what's going on with this. Right?
I would appreciate it, and it would...
I'm asking the group.
Are we going to crypt?
I feel like we could at least try.
You owe it to Matri's
Do we
family.
want to split into 2 teams? Like some of us inside and some of us like just hang around the entrance and see.
That sounds like a recipe for half of us being locked out of the big bad. Nothing seems to happen on the outside of the crypt. All going down inside of the crypt.
Yeah, going down inside the crypt sounds like an idea.
I'm for it.
I can lead you there if you'd like. I don't know. Just... I know what to do. Do you have a carriage, or do we need to all ride?
We have one.
Then I'll
We
meet
have
you.
one.
I'll meet you out there in a moment. Tell Beauregard not to get too drunk while we're away. And he walks off, and Sam's like, "Yeah, carriage." And he grabs a leather satchel from the corner.
Oh no, we have a child coming with us.
And follows you all out, no matter what you say.
Excellent. It's just what we need.
A child.
It seems to increase all of our rolls every other time.
A child does? This is our first child.
Nuh-uh, there was the bear cubs
To be fair,
and the drakes.
they weren't traveling with us.
As Sark is still
Alright.
invisible, he's going to go around and
And
absolutely attempt.
As we're leaving the room, by the way, I drop concentration on invisibility.
As soon as he's trying to...
what did you try to steal?
Why are you
I
stealing
I
from
think
Matri's
Drake
house?
done good enough.
Why are you stealing from Matri's house?
I'm not stealing from Matri's house. I was stealing from you.
Me?
All of you. Anything that Sark could possibly get their tiny little paws
Oh
on.
my god.
I'm gonna say no if you're stealing from everybody here.
Sachi did not see anything. Fine. Can I at least steal the booze from the guard?
Yes, you can easily just whoop that right from him.
Beauregard can't get drunk now.
Yeah, can't.
We leave, he pulls out another bottle.
His bag of holding is nothing but flasks.
You, as you're all either piling in the back or getting up on the seats at the top, the uncle comes out carrying a very large jar of blood. My own. Best I can do for this whole thing. And just use my own offering as bait.
Yes, about that. Everyone seems to be not doing great with this tradition.
What do you mean?
Everyone here's kind of really pale. Kind of really looks like they need that blood in them.
Oh no, we're pale because if it's not raining, it's cloudy, and the way the buildings are made, I guess whoever's in charge has always just kept the roofs over everyone.
Sark is going to glance at Mashri for a second.
What?
No, nothing. Nothing.
The uncle will kind of lean in and go, do you just want to tell them? Or are they, not quite comfortable with that kind of knowledge?
I would believe they would be
Vampires?
comfortable with that kind of knowledge.
They would be?
Certainly.
All right,
Gotta be
then.
fucking vampires, right?
I've got a story to tell. As he walks up into the wagon and glances around, presumably the inside that is much bigger.
It's bigger on the inside.
It's a TARDIS.
Thank you. I was waiting for someone to make that joke.
It was low hanging fruit.
It was, and I'm glad it took a little bit. He he sits down holding the jar and goes, "Well, bit of an unspoken, well, not really an unspoken. It's the worst kept secret that nobody believes. The royal, royal. They're not really royalty. They just run things. They're not kings or anything. It's like unelected governors. I suppose that's royalty. Whatever. Point is, the family Atreides are vampires. But they don't go skulking in the night, drinking people's blood. Long ago, the ones in charge when this place first got created, well, they started this tradition. Blood for the ancestors, future for you. That's the way they worded it. It eventually got phased out. And, well, instead, the blood disappears, quote unquote. It really just gets taken to the castle, stored away, and drank throughout the year. And not
Sark
really.
is going to look very confused now.
What?
If...
Not all vampires are monsters.
No. If it just needs to be taken to the castle, and you're having all of these troubles, why don't you just take it to the castle?
Because
Just say it's going to be held under royal protections from now on due to the vandalism.
here's the thing. Everybody thinks that the mausoleum is magical of some sort. They assume that blood disappears into some who knows what. Everybody believes a different thing. Some people even believe that the walls themselves drink it, and the jars are just absorbed into the ground. Some actually believe the vampire secret, again in quotes, and just assume it's a way not to hurt anyone. And then there are the people not from here who would probably hear the words vampires, blood collection, and immediately assume the worst. And what happens when people assume the worst and the word vampire is used?
Next thing you're gonna tell me is that jolly man in his red suit gives gifts to everybody once a year.
He does. I've seen him.
He was burning bodies.
Oh, you mean Friar Nicholas?
Oh god, that's no. No.
Friar
You
Nicholas.
did not just make Santa an Undertaker.
Friar Nicholas is a jolly fellow, but I think even he would not be quite happy with a city run by vampires.
Bridge.
Listen, there's already a very thin line in Oregard for folks of that nature. Their connections to monster hunters are deep. And we would rather not start some kind of war or issue over an old local tradition that bothers no one and you do voluntarily.
Fair
Right.
enough. It just seems like extra steps.
It is, but that's what, well, any good
Sorry, I'm
religion.
dying.
That's what any good religion or ceremony really is. What do you think a wedding is?
I apparently can do those.
Good for you.
Know what a wedding is.
A
But I
wedding,
have a spouse.
Oh, shit, I can marry you guys.
she kind of looks
Yeah.
over at the cat and goes, "You have a spouse?" Gabu raises
yeah.
his hand. And then Mazoga gets
And
angry.
so does Mazaga.
Yeah, they both do. And they're just like, and they look at each other and go,
To be
And
fair, they have about the same amount of brain cells as each other.
yeah, and the uncle just kind of shakes his head and just, all right. If you must know, the biggest issue to this whole thing has been that damned rabbit. He's scheming. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. And it's pissing me off. I don't think he's doing this because, quite honestly, from what little I know that he does, it's just getting in his own way. But by heaven, he's sure going to take what power he can to get his way. And that includes throwing us under the bus. Well, under the wagon.
What is the rabbit's name?
I don't know it.
Uh,
He likes to be called the professor. Even though he doesn't do much teaching, he actually gets annoyed if you try to ask about being taught. Something about practicality is the best teacher, but then he just gets angry and
Oh. One of those kinds of teachers.
he also just doesn't like people.
well, I think what we should do is prepare to see if we can't catch these troublemakers in the act. Now we will see what we can do.
Yes.
Because if we can just fix all of this, it'll be fine.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any possible chance that there would be an internal struggle among the vampires?
No, all the actual vampires are within the Atreides family, and they obviously
It is
have,
important to note that not all members of the Atreides family are, in fact, vampires themselves.
yes, but all the important ones that keep, running
Yes.
everything in the back are, and really they're all
Yes.
fairly content. At least what I know. The founders very deals with problems that arise forcefully and quickly.
Any chances Professor Guy could try getting our way since we're helping you out?
No, he's not that. I'd hope he's not that petty. He doesn't seem it. Seems to treat me more like a fly around a toy he wants that just messes up the atmosphere. And you will get to the mausoleum. Ferris will know, like, he'll give directions, but then when you see it, Ferris will be like, yes, it's this. It is the largest building in the very center of the whole plateau thing. And it looks like a Greek god temple almost. But it's still very Gothic architecture, if that makes any sense. And stops and goes, well, I guess this is where we go. And we only have 15 more minutes, so that's where we'll stop.
Yeah.
Nicely done.
Yes.
Alrighty. Mostly a setup game since we're short on time today.
Yes. I hope you all like
Yeah.
the world and everything.
Time for lore and world building.
Yes.
Yeah. Sark is questioning whether or not Atreides is truly just a construct.
Matri, you mean?
Yes.
No, Atreides.
Atreides.
No, you yourself. You.
You're a gay construct.
Alright, I'm gonna go hop off because I have to use the bathroom before I run off to the store. So you guys have a good night.
Yeah, the stream will end. I will
You
be
too.
back tomorrow with stuff, and I hope everybody has a good night. Bye!
I am
Woo!
built for tough.
For tough.
I